Good morning, friends. Praise be to Jesus. Tomorrow is Good Friday, but all over the world there may not be any way of the crosses, there may not be the passion reading. All of us are shut up inside because of the coronavirus. We do not know the plan of God, but we submit ourselves totally to the will of God, to the benevolent providence of God. On the context of the Good Friday, we reflect about the sufferings of Jesus. The sufferings of Jesus was a mystery, the mystery of our own salvation. Even before it happened, Jesus prepared himself for that great event of the crucifixion and his resurrection. Even when he was a child, his mother and father took him to Jerusalem for the presentation. And the elderly man, Simeon, prophesied that even a sword would pierce through the soul of Mary, and that this child would be a sign of contradiction. When Jesus was during his public ministry, always he had in his mind the suffering that he was going to undergo. He told his disciples, I have a baptism to be baptized, and I am under tension until that happens. He several times prophesied and foretold his disciples about his suffering. And the people came around him and they wanted a sign from him. He said no sign would be given except the sign of Jonah. Just as Jonah was in the belly of the fish, the Son of Man will be in the belly of the earth, he prophesied. Perhaps the disciples did not understand it properly. When Jesus was in the town of Caesarea Philippi, he asked the question, who do people say that I am? They gave some answers. Then Jesus asked directly, who do you say that I am? Simon Peter stood up and said, you are the Son of God, you are the Messiah. Jesus was very happy. And in that context, he thought of telling them about what was going to happen. That the Son of Man will be arrested, persecuted, humiliated, and crucified and killed, and that he would rise up on the third day. They did not understand anything. They did not want to understand anything, because they were dreaming of a new kingdom where Jesus would be the king and they would be holding responsible positions. So it shouldn't happen for him. That was the answer given by Peter. Then we can see Jesus going up the mountain of Tabor, where the three disciples, Peter, James and John, were with him. Moses and Elijah spoke to him. And the topic of their conversation was his passing away in Jerusalem, the suffering. But the disciples did not understand what it meant. And after they came down to the foot of the hill, and he assembled the disciples and told them for the second time very clearly about his suffering and death. That also they did not understand. Then third time when they were going to Jerusalem, and that was the last journey to Jerusalem, Jesus told very clearly that he is going to Jerusalem and the people will arrest him and he will be persecuted and killed and he would rise up again on the third day. That prediction also was given, but the disciples did not follow it. Then as the days were coming closer, tension was mounting up. Jesus told them, when the Greeks came to Jesus and wanted to meet Jesus, he told them about the grain of wheat. If the grain of wheat does not fall to the ground and decay, it would remain alone. If it decays, it would produce plenty of fruits. And then he said, the Son of Man will be raised from the earth, and then he would attract many to himself. They did not understand what it meant to be raised. As the time drew near, Jesus told them very clearly, one of you is going to betray me. They all asked, is it I? Is it I? Then Jesus said, all of you will betray, you will abandon me and run away from me. And to Peter he said, today, before the cock crows twice you will deny me 3 times. That also they did not understand. So for Jesus, he was expecting and he was ready for the great mystery of the suffering. For the disciples, since they did not want to understand, they did not understand and they did not grasp what he meant. As we are in the end of the Lenten season and nearing the Good Friday, let us also reflect about the mystery of suffering. The mystery of the suffering of the world today. The whole world is suffering. We do not know the whole world is united now. The whole world is fighting together against one enemy, the corona. There is no difference between the haves and the have-nots, the developed and the underdeveloped. And the providence of God may bring us together. We do not know what good is behind it. Let us submit ourselves. The number of affected people has crossed 15 lakhs. The people who lost their lives, 88,000. So it goes like that. Let us submit ourselves to the will of God and accept suffering, seeing the plan and will of God in every inch and iota of it. Amen.